Enter now at WABCRadio.com for your chance to win one exclusive pair of VIP tickets to the ultimate Frankie Valli experience. One lucky winner will see Frankie Valli live. And then join Vinny Medugno on the next show after the concert. Live in studio or on the phone to dish on an unforgettable night. Enter right now at WABCRadio.com for the ultimate Frankie Valli experience.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. When you visit the doctor, you probably hand over your insurance, your ID, and contact details. It's just one of the many places that has your personal info. And if any of them accidentally expose it, you could be at risk for identity theft. LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second. If you become a victim, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Today, an entire nation wraps its loving arms around you and your beautiful children. We share in your immense and overwhelming sorrow, and we vow that we will do everything we can to ensure that your children grow up in a land where their father is honored and revered as a great American hero. That's what he is.
Or my granddaughter left for college in Europe. Her mother noticed that she packed a Bible. When her mother asked her why she made that choice, she said, "I want to live more like Charlie." And it's...
Welcome, my friends, to the Monday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Today, we will take calls, perhaps, 800-848. Carlos, just give the phone numbers, please.
800-848-9222.
Thank you. We so rarely take calls on this. The Monday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, fastest hour in American media. Of course, yesterday, the big news was the memorial service, over 7 hours of memorial for Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated. Donald Trump, we began with the quote from him and then from RFK Jr., and we have a lot more. I don't know whether we will be able to get to them all. If you saw the memorial and you have some reactions to it, and I would just ask respectfully that if you're one of the regulars who call every show, every time, give some other people a chance on this if they want to comment, some new voices, new faces that perhaps haven't joined us before. I would especially, if you are up to calling, want to hear from people that are not necessarily conservatives. I've been hearing about from a few of them, people that were not conservatives that watched this and their reaction. We have some of that. We have so many reactions, it'll take days if we ever get to all of it. And there's so much other news, so doubtful we will. There's so many other things happening. But if you did see it, if you were impacted by it, please give us a call. 800-848-9222 is how you reach us. There is other news going on besides that. I'd like to touch on some of it if we have a chance. I, in the interest of full disclosure and honesty, did not see the memorial, most of it. I was in bed sick. I have been, those of you that listen to the Saturday show, I barely made it through. I don't know how. I thank God I made it through the Saturday show. I was as sick as I have ever been on Saturday. It was pretty dramatic. But we made it through nonetheless, and today, thankfully, thank God, feeling better. So I have been watching and immersing myself in the clips of it and what happened and what transpired and reading everything that I can read about the memorial. And it seems it was quite amazing. I didn't see it in real time, so I don't see the sequence that actually rolled out of everything. But I have been reading and looking at a lot of it, and it's just amazing, some of the things that some of the speakers and some of the apparent controversies that are coming out. I saw a brief clip of Tucker Carlson, and I did not realize till members of the royal court informed me. Members of the royal court informed me that there's a bit of controversy regarding Tucker Carlson's speech, which was brief. I didn't put Tucker Carlson's speech in the sound bites just because we had too much. I did listen to it earlier. I said, okay. Tucker Carlson, let me paraphrase his speech briefly, was talking about the fact that there was a story that happened 2,000 years ago of a guy who went up against the powerful forces of the world at that time. And he imagined in his own mind, when he started talking about the rich, the powerful, and the powerful forces that were, corrupt of that time, and I'm assuming corrupt, he said that one guy must have come up with a bright idea of how to get, but he imagined them sitting around a table, the candle-lit table, as I remember him saying it, with eating some hummus and just thinking about ways that they could get rid of this guy. Of course, we all know who he's talking about, who that personage in history is, probably the most famous person in history, or one of them. But people have taken offense to that remark, apparently, because he mentioned that people were sitting around a candlelit room eating the hummus. And that, to me, blew my mind. And the reason that they're upset about the hummus is because they think that somehow or another that is, I don't even want to discuss it, but I brought it up. I guess I'll have to follow through. But what they're saying is that somehow or another that is anti-Semitic rhetoric, and then they're tying it into this whole Israel and stuff. It goes on from there into the deep conspiracy theories, and apparently there's a lot of fury about it. To which I reported, I asked my members of the royal court, well, do you think it would have been better if Tucker had described the men conspiring as sitting around a candlelit table eating gyros? I don't think a falafel would have been much better, or grape leaves or anything like that, but maybe gyros would have made them feel better than him saying eating hummus. Now, I have also debated about this because one of the things, I got a report when I was able to take a phone call. People were calling me, and by the way, if I haven't returned your calls, I'm so sorry. I was out of it. I seriously was out of it. I had calls and I just couldn't. I couldn't watch anything. I had to just go to bed and just lay around. Even laying down was tough. But anything, I'm not here to talk about my own stuff. But I did get a call when I was able to take calls from someone who had watched the memorial and was quite upset with the President of the United States, whom this person works in the media, and this person is not an enemy of the president, in fact, a fan, but said that they were very, very upset with the president's presentation and pointed one thing, and I have that section of the speech, and I do want to play it for you because when I heard it, I had a reaction to it, and I'm wondering if any of you have had a reaction to it too. And that's cut 12. Carlos, let us listen together and refresh your memories about that section of the president's remarks at the Charlie Kirk Memorial.
Shortly before Charlie arrived on campus, the day he was assassinated, a staff member texted him that there were many critics and students who were opposed to his views and rather strenuously in the crowd. And that actually made him feel good because he wanted to convince them. He understood. He really did. He understood what was right. And he was right about that. A lot of it was based on common sense, by the way. Charlie wrote back to the staff member saying, I'm not here to fight them. I want to know them and love them, and I want to reach them and try and lead them into a great way of life in our country. In that private moment on his dying day, we find everything we need to know about who Charlie Kirk truly was. He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent. And I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent. Charlie's angry. Looking down, he's angry at me now. He wasn't interested in demonizing anyone. He was interested in persuading everyone to the ideas and principles he believed were good, right, and true. Before each appearance, he prayed these words, God, use me for your will. Always said the same thing. Use me for your will. And that is exactly what God did. When you think, that's exactly what he did.
Now, that remark, when I heard it for myself, I must admit, I found it a little jarring to be said at a memorial. And I, of course, you hear me, those of you that do hear me and know where I stand, I don't believe in hate. I think that when we do experience ourselves having those kind of moments, that we need to come back to a better place spiritually, a better place mentally, especially to have a president of the United States say that he hates his opponents is jarring. But, you know, and I'm not going to make excuses for that, but I am going to say something about it. Donald Trump has endured more than most of us could ever endure without having a breakdown. This man ran for office, and what has been his, okay, some people say, well, his objectives are to make himself rich. He was already rich. Other people's have other, and you hear they're in overdrive now, by the way, of why Donald Trump wants to do what he's doing, the things he's doing. But most of us would agree, especially from those of us that have talked about political issues for decades, that this Make America Great campaign of his is real. And what has he gotten in return from it? The entire left-wing political establishment has showered him nothing but continuous hate. They have tried to destroy his family. They've tried to destroy his businesses. He has had attempts on his life made. Now people aligned with them, including Charlie Kirk, have been assassinated, hurt. Now, Princess Diana in real time is telling me that she found that remark to be sort of self-deprecating. He did not mean it, I guess, in the way, she's not taking him as meaning it in the way that he said it. It's a self-deprecating. I'm getting here the Lady Benedict. I personally love that. Basically, Trump saying Charlie was a better man than me. Charlie was a better man than me. And maybe that's the case. Maybe you have some opinions on it as well. Jarring. And that was, by the way, one of the things that I let off telling you. One of my friends called me and just like, hey, this wasn't good. That one remark. So I'd be interested to hear what you think about it, what you think of the day. We'll have other remarks. We got to take a quick break here. James Golden, Snerdley. James Golden, Snerdley, 800-848-9222 is how you reach us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Enter now at WABCRadio.com for your chance to win one exclusive pair of VIP tickets to the ultimate Frankie Valli experience. One lucky winner will see Frankie Valli live. And then join Vinny Medugno on the next show after the concert. Live in studio or on the phone to dish on an unforgettable night. Enter right now at WABCRadio.com for the ultimate Frankie Valli experience. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have never heard Marco Rubio the way that I heard Marco Rubio. Now, I also want to say to those of you who are not Christian, I understand that sometimes you don't necessarily want to hear someone which you consider to be proselytizing. I play these things anyway because people of faith, and I respect people of faith, whether I agree with their faith or not, and I hope you do too. But this is Marco Rubio to me I've never heard Marco, cut 9. I've never ever heard this Marco Rubio before.
His deep belief that we were all created, every single one of us, before the beginning of time, by the hands of the God of the universe, an all-powerful God, who loved us and created us for the purpose of living with Him in eternity. But then sin entered the world and separated us from our Creator. And so God took on the form of a man and came down and lived among us. And He suffered like men. And He died like a man. But on the third day He rose unlike any mortal man. And to prove any doubters wrong, He ate with His disciples so they could see, and they touched His wounds. He didn't rise as a ghost or as a spirit, but as flesh. And then He rose to the heaven, but He promised He would return. And He will. And when He returns, because He took on that death, because He carried that cross, we were freed from the sin that separated us from Him. And when He returns, there will be a new heaven and a new earth, and we will all be together, and we are going to have a great reunion there again with Charlie and all the people we love. Thank you, and God bless you.
Have you ever heard that Marco Rubio before? James Golden. Your calls are coming up. We have calls. We want to take them. 800-848-9222 is how you reach us. Bo Snerdley, James Golden. Fast as Hour on American Media continues. Be here.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
People are leaving the Democrat Party by the droves. After Charlie Kirk's death, and people were celebrating and just rejoicing that a man lost his life, people are leaving the Democrat Party by the droves. They celebrated a father being dead, a brother, a husband, a conservative, a man of God. People are done. The Democrat Party has now become the party of death.
You know what? One of the things I do want to point out that's not been laid out that honestly hurts my heart is when I saw the no votes, there were only 2 Caucasians. For the most part, the only people that voted no were people of color, because the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk continuously put out there was rhetoric that specifically targeted people of color. And so it is unfortunate that even our colleagues could not see how harmful his rhetoric was, specifically to us.
That last voice, Jasmine Crockett, Scott Jennings has a great reply to that. Maybe we'll revisit that tomorrow with Scott Jennings. James Golden Snerdley with you, fastest hour in American media. We are going to take some calls momentarily. First, folks, I want to remind you the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Walk Run is coming up on Sunday, September 28th. All of us here at Red Apple Audio Networks encouraging folks, our listeners, please go donate to our team. Please go to redappleaudionetworks.com/walk to donate. Please help us raise money for the most amazing foundation, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Walk Run. Let's never forget what American heroes and who they are, what they've done for all of us. Let's raise some money for Tunnel to Towers, for our first responders, our veterans, our 9/11 victims. That's redappleaudionetworks.com/walk. Every single dollar counts, and I thank you in advance. Let's do this, because there are some other things that I would like to get. Oh, man, I'm even hearing from overseas. The Countess of Conspiracy and her husband, Tom Bond, are world traveling. Yeah, they're on the way to Egypt right now. Yeah, they left Greece. You should see the pictures they sent me from Greece, Carlos. You'd love them. They're on the way to Egypt right now. And they're listening. And she says, look, it's easy for Marco Rubio to talk like that in front of Christians. How about regularly in front of non-Christians? Charlie Kirk did that all the time. I mean, damn. Give the guy some... I thought Marco Rubio... I've never heard Marco Rubio like that before. Anyway, other people do want to weigh in. And I said, we don't normally take calls, because we only have an hour. It goes by quick, but we're going to take some calls. Ed is calling from the Jersey Shore. And Ed, how are you this afternoon?
I am well, sir. And, well, yesterday shook me to my core. It was so pure and so beautiful. And, I just want to tell you, in a way, Bo, you remind me of Charlie, because you were so honest and down to earth and so real and humble. And I love listening to your show every day. I just love it.
Thank you. I so appreciate those remarks. I try to keep it real. Thank you. Charlie, I just got to say, I'm still blown away by Charlie's life. 31 years old. I think of how many people can accomplish in an entire lifetime what he was able to do. And we say 31 years old. I mean, he grew up. He was a child. He had teenage years. I met him when he was in his young 20s. And you think about the length of time that he had, even from 21 to 31, the 10 years from being an adult, and 10 years of being an adult, a legal adult, this man was able to accomplish great things that will last. And if you see the reaction that people are having, and regardless of what Jasmine, I have another article here about black pastors, black Christians confront Charlie Kirk's religious legacy, and it's forcing some black Christians to reconcile the activist divisive comments on race. And this is what it's the Washington Post. So they have to throw in the word divisive. But the divisive comments on race with the Christian values of tolerance and empathy. And I find the whole thing in a way objectionable, because these are the same, quote unquote, some of these people here are the same people that don't mind generations of black babies being consumed to death by Planned Parenthood and others, never said a word about it. Some of these same people are the same people that watch this downpouring of hate toward Donald Trump and toward Republicans, and not only didn't say a word about it, some of them engage in it as well. So let's not pretend that just because you're a black Christian that you have the market on what's good and holy, because you don't, if we must be frank about it. But at the same time, these are things that I will hopefully be discussing at some point in the near future. I wanted to get as many calls as possible. So, Ed, let me thank you again for your kind words. And let's go to Georgia and talk to Bill. Bill, how are you?
Oh, how you doing? I love your show.
Thank you.
Okay, my quick question is, I've been watching Charlie's death to September 10th, and, I can't watch it no more. But anyway, my question is, do you know, or the newsroom at WTC knows, has he been buried? Has he had
I don't know.
Funeral?
Is he going to be buried or cremated was the way your question. And to be honest with you, I don't know. I heard there was burial, but I'm not 100% sure of the facts. Why is that of interest to you?
No, because I haven't seen any of that. And with all the
okay.
News coverage,
got it. Yeah, I read that it was a burial, but I'm not... I'm sorry to talk over you. I read that it was a burial, but I'm not 100% sure of the details on that. So it is something that I'm sure the information will be present out there. So we'll track it down if it's of interest. Thank you. Donna in Garden City, New York. Donna, how are you? Welcome.
Good. I think the memorial was perfect. It was comfortable. It felt like all family, and the words of the spokespeople they were just so moving, and I just thought the whole thing was done well in honor of Charlie.
Wow. Glad to hear that, Donna. Thank you for sharing your reaction to it. Let me flip over to Staten Island, the sixth borough of New York. Well, the fifth borough of New York. The sixth borough. What is the sixth borough of New York, Carlos? You don't know? It's Palm Beach, Florida. That's the sixth version of New York, sixth borough of New York. Ruby in Staten Island, how are you?
I'm great. I love your show, and I think you have an excellent rapport with the people that you speak to. Like Charlie says, we have the same DNA.
Amen.
Amen.
Did you watch the memorial service? Think about it.
Wakes this week, unfortunately, and I couldn't get off my couch to watch it. I am Greek Orthodox, first and foremost. You just talked about Greece. I love it. I'm a wife of an FDNY captain who, thank God, is okay. Anyway, and I'm a mom of 3, and my oldest daughter, is against everything I believe. She came back from college thinking, we're the worst, homophobes, racists. Anyway, Erica has become my model wife. We have model mothers, we have model sisters, model whatever, but there's nobody that has a model relationship as a husband and wife. So I thank her for everything she did. I just couldn't stop crying. And the thing you were talking about, Trump, the left spends hours and hours going through rhetoric and finding sound bites that make their side sound, all the crap that they're doing. Trump is feeding those sound bites to them. The way that you, like you said, why are you talking about hate? Why are you talking about, just preach love? So I want to know who his language guide is. I used to work in advertising. I used to be a speech pathologist. Someone needs to tell him he has inside thoughts. And he should keep them there so that he doesn't feed the rhetoric of the left. That's what he's doing.
I love the way you just framed that. He has inside thoughts. He should look. Trump is going to be Trump, and I'm not mad at Trump for being Trump. Just so you know that. I'm just wondering. Like I said, look. And I hear people that are hearing this a different way too, about this being a moment of self-deprecation, meant to say Charlie was a better man than me, and so I can give that a lot of credence too. But I hear you. I'm very uncomfortable with the word hate, with saying I hate, even though many of us experience. Look, this is a part of life, and one of the things when we find ourselves hating something, and hopefully not somebody. But I try to reflect it. Like, I hate the policies. I hate what the policies of the left have done to America. I hate to see what has happened to so many segments of America and what has been the result of liberals having their way. I hate that. I don't hate the liberals themselves, but I hate what they have done to this country and what they are trying to do. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to try to work our way from that. You mentioned Erica. I just want to mention something. You don't see the words, you don't see Bible references in the Washington Post that much unless they're mocking them or mocking the people that believe in them. That's just the way it is. So Jim Garrity has an editorial in today's Washington Post, an eye for an eye. Erica Kirk just did the remarkable. At the memorial service for conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, his widow forgave his killer. And he opens this up, and this is so unusual to read in the Washington Post. Turn the other cheek may well be Jesus' hardest teaching to practice. In Matthew 5:38, during the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says, "You have heard that it is said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, offer no resistance to one who is evil. When someone strikes you on your cheek, your right cheek, turn the other one to him as well." But that lesson is so difficult to put into practice, and he goes on and he talks about then the nonviolent movement, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, and then he mentions Erica Kirk. Sunday night gifted the world with a spectacularly clear model of turning the other cheek in Erica Kirk, speaking at the memorial service for her slain husband, Charlie Kirk. God only knows, and I mean that literally, how she found the strength to go on and speak before a packed football stadium with millions watching. Most of us, upon losing our beloved spouse to an assassin's bullet, would be an inconsolable mess for a long time afterwards. But then Erica Kirk did something that was so surprising, so incongruent with the hostility and bitterness of the political atmosphere right now. It took your breath away. My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men just like the one who took his life, she said in a voice barely above a whisper. That young man on the cross, our Savior said, "Forgive, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him. And he continues his column. So, wow. In the Washington Post, no less. As I said, folks, we have so many sound bites, and I wanted to touch on some other things. We have to take a break right now. Let's do that. And if we can, I'll just mention a few of the other things. We've got this autism presser that's coming up, unless it's happened already. But that, to me, is just going to be monumental news. It's happening right now. Yeah. And, folks, this could be a game changer. I'm a little skeptical. I'm hopeful and skeptical and anxious to hear what it is that has been uncovered. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow for sure. Yes, Donald Trump is making that speech right now.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Recently, we asked some people about sharing their New York Times accounts.
My name is Dana. I am a subscriber to the New York Times, but my husband isn't. And it would be really nice to be able to share a recipe or an article or compete with him in Wordle or Connections. Thank you.
Dana, we heard you. Introducing the New York Times Family Subscription. One subscription, up to 4 separate logins for anyone in your life. Find out more at nytimes.com/family.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
What are we seeing? Donald Trump being underwater, Democrats saying, oh, this guarantees us we're going to fly high in the midterms. Let me tell you, this guarantees you nothing, because at this particular point, the Democrats are the New Orleans Saints of political parties. What are we talking about? Trust the Dems or GOP more on the economy? Who leads on the economy? Republicans by 7. Immigration, Republicans by 13. How about crime? A big issue for Donald Trump and the Republicans. Look at that. Lead by 22 points. So the bottom line is this. At this particular point, the ball may be on the ground, but the Democrats have not picked up the ball and running with it. If anything, at this particular point, it's the Republicans who are running with the ball on the top issues, the economy, immigration, and crime.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was Harry Ensign, CNN's pollster. I'm just checking the clock to see if we have time. That's one of the things we want to talk about tomorrow as we get to other news. Also, the guy running for president out there in California, Gavin Newsom, he has now supposedly banned federal agents from wearing masks while they're doing law enforcement. And, of course, his public, like this woman, Cut 4 Carlos, eating it up. This is what this gal thinks is happening.
Newsom just signed legislation to ban the masked agents in California. Yeah, this guy's not backing down from Donald Trump and his bullshit. ICE agents are not going to be allowed to be wearing their masks anymore. It'll be against the law in the state of California. And there's a lot of other states that are adopting the same legislation. Okay, so get ready to be unmasked, mother, and show your ID and declare loudly and proudly who you are and who you're working for. Because we're really done here. We're so done here.
These poor people, they have no education. She doesn't understand that state law does not pertain or does not have supremacy over federal law. It's just all for optics. It means nothing. Harry Warren was passed away on this day. He was 88. Wrote over 800 songs. Such a prolific songwriter, including this one. That's a classic. The Flamingos, Art Garfunkel did it. He wrote You Must Have Been a Beautiful Baby. He wrote Jeepers Creepers, The Chattanooga Choo Choo. His songs have been in over 300 American films. Well, that's it. We had to depart for the day. Nursey Nurse just hit me up. Oh, she's furious over what she's seeing on this press conference on autism. She's furious. We'll have to talk about that tomorrow after I've had a chance to review it. Meanwhile, we got it. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude, my friends, for allowing me to be here, for you being here with me. God willing, Almighty God willing, we are back tomorrow for Tuesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Until then, my friends, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here?
Enter now at WABCRadio.com for your chance to win one exclusive pair of VIP tickets to the ultimate Frankie Valli experience. One lucky winner will see Frankie Valli live. And then join Vinny Medugno on the next show after the concert. Live in studio or on the phone to dish on an unforgettable night. Enter right now at WABCRadio.com for the ultimate Frankie Valli experience.